Boundless Authenticity Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Boundless Authenticity Podcast. You know what to do if you're new. Hit like, share, and subscribe wherever you're listening. I gotta remind you, it's never been easier to listen to Boundless Authenticity. All you have to do is go to boundlessauthenticity.podbean.com and you will see all of the links, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it, Pandora, everything, and the kitchen sink is right at the top of the page for your listening convenience. Today, I'm talking with a paranormal team based in the Netherlands. They came together in cooperation between a team called Cold Spotters Netherlands and the Ravens Paranormal, and they mostly do residential investigations in different locations. And I'm excited to talk about these things with them today because, we usually do United States based paranormal stuff here. So let's see what they have to say. So, how's things in the Netherlands?
Okay, I guess. They forecasted snow again for the third time. But it's still dry, so everything is fine here. I don't know about you, Shane, because he's on the other side of the Netherlands.
Yeah, here it's the same. They are forecasting snow, but for now, nothing yet. It's cold, though. It's very cold.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's safe to say that you won't be doing much investigation in the snow.
No, not until it's a bit warmer.
I suppose unless you're looking for the abominable snowman, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah, but we don't have him.
We have no cryptids here, so we tend to steal one. We want to steal one from America, but they won't let us.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing to say. I wonder why you haven't seen any there.
Well, I don't know. They're just not here. I don't know why, but maybe it's because of the Dutch. I don't know. I always say they're very boring here, so probably we are too boring to have any cryptids. But no, we want to steal one from America and take it home, but the Americans don't want us to take one home. I don't know why. They won't let us.
Well, it's possible. Donald Trump be like, we have the best cryptids. We've done all the research.
I was wondering when it was going to come.
That guy.
I like it.
So listen, I'm a very curious person, so bear with me on that. My first most logical question would be, can you share a moment, each of you, that made you realize that this field was going to be a thing that you wanted to do?
Oh, Shane, you can start.
Can I start? Well, it started almost 30 years ago, I think, when I met my now wife. She was very much into the paranormal, and I recently had my first paranormal experience. There was a spirit sitting on my bed when I woke up, and I later found out that he's my great grandpa who passed away. I saw a full-bodied apparition, like I saw his clothes and all. Didn't know the man because he died when I was 1. And afterwards, I asked my mom, who's that guy? I saw a picture of him. And she said, that's your great grandfather. He died when you were 1. And I said, I saw him. He was sitting on my bed. And my mom's eyes were this wide. And afterwards, I just wanted to know everything about the paranormal and what it was and how I could investigate it. And my wife was my partner to talk to. And we started off ever since. We've been busy with the paranormals from that moment on. How about you, Mary?
Well, as a child, I had seen some apparitions. I live in Arnhem, and many people know the story of a bridge too far. So lots of war victims here in the area because of the fights concerning the bridge. But my family didn't believe, so I had to deal with it myself. I had premonitions during my childhood, and people thought I had big ears and heard a lot. And the idea of the paranormal came when I met my biological father. He's a psychic medium, and he told me so much about haunting, spirits, ghosts, energy. It made me curious, and that's where my road started. And I was 20, I think. So, yeah.
That's interesting. I think it's more common to have paranormal experiences than it is to have normal everyday experiences with people, honestly.
Yeah, I can agree more. Definitely. Nowadays, especially.
Yeah. I always say I like animals and I'm not afraid of ghosts, but
People scare me.
people.
100%. So if I was getting into this for the first time, I'm a complete newbie. How do you determine if somewhere is truly haunted?
I think by excluding the normal, like if you live in a old house and it's all wood, it's going to creak. It's going to make popping noises. Your stairs is probably going to walk back again as soon as you walked over it. So I think you have to exclude every normal possibility of things happening in the house. And as soon as you cannot figure out what it is, and you figured out that the EMF is either normal and spiking sometimes or very high, because if it's very high, there's probably a logical reason for it to be that high. You have to look at that as well. But if you can't find any logical reason anymore, you're going to be looking at the abnormal ways, which automatically for me means it could be paranormal. But other than that, if everything's normal and you figured everything out that it could be normal, then I would not say, no, it's paranormal. I would probably say you have to figure out how to fix the house because something's wrong with the house. It's not paranormal.
Yeah. Nowadays, you have the problem with the solar panels, and they gave high voltages, and people get nausea and see things. So you have to exclude that as well, because you get paranoid if you have that high voltage over your head all day, 24 hours a day. And you get sick.
True. Yeah. Hallucinations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Apart from what you just said, then what are the usual signs or phenomena that you most commonly encounter?
Disembodied voices. I'm sensitive, and I hate the word medium or psychic, but I do hear more often disembodied voices, including my body reacts on apparitions. So if there's energy in the area, I feel sick or I feel how they passed away. And that is for me a sign to shout out to Shane. We need to have a voice recorder and see if we can catch the EVP, a picture on film, whatever. So that's the first thing I do. Yeah. And Shane is the technical guy.
I'm the technical guy, but I do usually feel energies going around as soon as there's cold spots or the energy floats around me, then my hairs are on end, and I usually know when something's going on. But I'm more technically because I want to know if I can prove anything, and I'll use devices to prove it. And if it doesn't prove anything for me, then I move on to the next one. If it comes to energy, because it could just be me being on edge. I can blame that a lot on myself. I do trust my intuition, but as soon as I don't prove it, I'll just continue on to the next one. And I listen to Mary a lot because Mary knows.
Bloody Mary knows.
Always.
So besides using like psychic and intuitive faculties to figure out what's going on, what equipment specifically do you rely on and how does that help you?
Usually we use EVP recorders, cameras, and we do occasionally try some new things like people are all about the apps nowadays. So we try to debunk them or make use of them. It depends on how they work. But the main equipment we take with us are an EVP recorder, a spirit box, and a camera. K2 we do use as well, but they usually don't react on us. I don't know why.
Yeah, the EMF and the REM pod and the music box, one of my favorites. Yeah.
Are there actually any apps that work?
Haven't found them.
I do tend to believe there's one that's a free one. It's called the Ghost Hunt tool, and I do have to say you don't have to believe everything that's in that app, because sometimes it just spits out the words and you're like, excuse me, what? I don't understand what you're talking about. But they do occasionally react through the app, making the story complete. So if it's based on, let's say we're in the woods and there's a murder that happened there and we know of that murder, and they talk about woods and murder, you can make that story, or you can go ask the questions about that. But if it spits out demon, which it does a lot, but if it spits out demon or a dead house, or, everything that's not related, I'm not even going to react to it. And that's what a lot of people tend to forget. And as soon as that thing starts spitting words, you should stop immediately. Just turn off the app and continue on with the normal investigation, because it's probably not working.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of apps, and I bought a lot, and great teams are working with it, but they tend to work different here. If I go a bit towards the technical side, if we use an app and we are in the Netherlands, and in America, you get English words. But if they don't spit out pre-recorded words, we should have Dutch responses, but haven't had them. So that's one thing I think, I don't think the apps are working.
Yeah, I do agree with Mary for a lot of those apps, but there's, like I said, with the Ghost Hunt tool, we did have Dutch words, and it's not supposed to give them.
Yeah.
So that's, for me, that was one of the nights that I was like, whoa, okay, that's working. I can continue on using it. And if it's supposed to start spitting out words and it's not relevant for the investigation, then I'll probably turn it off and go further.
Yeah.
I'm guessing AI won't be replacing paranormal investigators for a while then.
Nope, not whatsoever. They do tend to overrule every single video nowadays, so you have to watch out with what's real and what's not. But doing investigation, no.
Even pictures. I saw a few pictures come across, and they made, during an investigation experiment, some pictures, and they asked Chat GTP what they see in it, if it's an aberration, and then you lose me. I'm lost. I can't believe anything, because it's not original.
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
Definitely
I want to
not.
see the original pictures, footage, everything.
Yep.
Yeah, it's safe to say that AI ruins a lot of good stuff, but you mentioned the music box, and I'm just curious how you use that.
I use it as a shadow recorder. So I put it in a corner and I make it go off. And in the area I spit out, I have a device here, it makes music. If you come across, it makes music, so can you turn it off? And make sure none of us can activate it. And that's the most important part, that no one of us in the area can make the music box go off.
Interesting. So how do you conduct EVP sessions, and how are you interpreting what you capture?
Good question.
I make a lot of fun. So I'm the Mad Hatter of the bunch, and I talk about candy, sweeties, going to dance, that kind of stuff. And most of the time, if I act ridiculous, you get very, very funny responses. Like one time in an orphanage, I got an EVP shouting out, "Come, come, candy, candy." It's $1 million EVP. And that's the best thing I got. But you can use other methods.
Yeah. The most important part if you do an EVP session is stay respectful and talk to spirits like you would talk to each other. Like not as if when they died or how did you die. It's kind of disrespectful. And especially if the person or the spirit you're talking to doesn't even know it's passed on. It has to be a shock if that happens. What we do tend to do is like Mary said, we make a lot of fun. We ask the favorite colors, food, what their age is, what their names are. We usually get some good responses if it comes to that. We even play hide and seek, which is very hard to do with a spirit if you don't see them. But they do tend to ask who you are because they're like, "Why are you playing hide and seek? You don't even see me." So yeah, that's you get very nice responses if you just be respectful. And I do have to say, if it is a negative spirit or entity that's very dominant towards me or Mary, I do tend to taunt and provoke, and not always goes as well as I hope it will go, but I do that to myself, and I'm not planning on stopping that. So if it happens, it happens. But for all other cases, just stay respectful and talk like you would talk to a normal human being.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any rituals or protective measures that you take when you do an investigation?
Hell no. I want to experience stuff. So why do I use protection? So I won't experience anything. No, I don't use anything. Afterwards, I cleanse myself. If we leave a location or a home and there's still something behind, I don't give them permission to come across and to live with us to our place, and that's about it. And when I come home, I shower and I use Palo Santo, and I think shame is the same.
Yeah, it's almost the same except for the Palo Santo, because I live with a witch. She's a high priestess. She protects my house. As soon as I walk in, everything's gone.
So how do you go about knowing the right questions to ask these entities?
I think that's more intuitive. It depends on where you are and what the investigation brings you. Usually when you use your feeling, you know what to ask. And like Mary said, she hears disembodied voices or she sees images. And we go with that, and we go with the flow, actually. Because one day it's a very serious adult you're talking to, and the other day it's a child or somebody who's very giggly. You ask different questions all the time, so it really depends on the investigation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so story time. Give me your best stories.
Oh my God.
There you go first this time.
I still like the investigation we did together at the mines. It's still mind-blowing. We were asked on a big location because there were 3 buildings, and one they decorated for honeymoons, for wedding ceremonies, for parties, and the other one was for games. So you could throw axes, shoot with bow and arrow. And the second one, they wanted to make special for kids to do stuff. karting, experiments, and nothing worked. The building was extremely cold and everyone was afraid. Now, there was an urban legend that on the property there was a house. And during World War II, there were kids kept there to keep them safe from the Germans. And they thought the hauntings had to do with those children. And they assumed they died. So we came in and did a base sweep. We had to crawl to a space from, I think, 1 meter by 1 meter. It was very small. And in this basement, there was Halloween stuff stashed. And they thought that there was a coffin. It was used during a real burial. Afterwards, that was just a story, so we could skip that, and we jumped into the story from World War II, and we didn't get any responses. So we wanted to do the Delco method, and I was blindfolded at purple lights in my eyes. And instead of a spirit box, I had white noise on my noise cancelling headphones. And I went into a trance and I saw mine workers and they were sweaty and it was stinking. It was horrible. And I came out of the session because I saw an explosion. And Shane went after me, but using the spirit box and red lights to see if he could confirm it, got any other answers. And it went completely quiet after that. So we cleansed the whole building, used Reiki, charms, crystals, prayers, Palo Santo, and even Florida water, the whole bunch, and went home to look into the footage. And Shane captured an EVP stating, "You saw us." And that made me think, let me do a history check. So I went into the property's history, and it's connected to mines. And it was water, how do you call it? A water cleaning something. And all the material in the mines, including the fresh air, was supported by this water building. And there were 2 explosions with fires. And the first one was mid-1800s, and the second one in the 1900s. During both events, 11 people died. And the first group of 11 people are still in the mines. And I think that was for me the most rememberable investigation.
Yeah, it was. For me, there was this one, like Mary told, but there was another one, and I still have unfinished business in the same spot. And as soon as I start telling it, Mary knows what I'm talking about. I was in my local woods here, and we were just setting up. We weren't even finished yet. I didn't even start recording. And there was like this tall of grass, wasn't that high up. We were standing there. I was just standing with my back towards a pond, and I heard something running towards me, like in my back, and it was very fast. It was like my hip high, and what am I? 5'8", I think, 5'9", pretty big. But it was hip height, so childlike, and it was fast, and it went into my back, and it scared the hell out of me. So I jumped up, and as I jumped, I turned around, and there was a table with my suitcase on there, and of course, my ass landed on that suitcase, which is one of the memorable things. It hurted like hell, but there was nothing coming for me, completely nothing. And as soon as I turned around, I heard it run off and into the pond, like bloop, in the water. We were running towards the pond with the flashlights to look what it was, and there wasn't even a wrinkle in the water. So I have no idea what it was till this day, but that scared the living hell out of me. And I still have unfinished business there because I want to know who it was and what it wanted, and if I can make it happen again, of course, which is probably never going to happen, but I still wanted to do it. But that's one of my most memorable ones. And the playing hide and seek with a child. They gave me an EVP, like, "Who are you?" in a childlike voice. And that's one of those two of the most amazing things I've ever had happen to me.
I don't know why I feel like asking this question, but have you experienced any investigations where a spirit was bound to a living person in or around the area you were investigating?
Ooh, I think, did I? No, not that I know of.
I had one which I helped an exorcist. And there was supposedly a succubus. That's the one for the female. Eh? Yeah, a succubus. No, an incubus.
No, incubus.
Yeah, and it was linked to this woman, and I was helping out to investigate and make sure it wasn't environment, ask the proper questions, if she had a mental illness, if she had certain medications, if she used drugs. So during that investigation, the exorcist got scratched on his back from the neck to his butthole. One big streak, and we didn't catch any EVP. We didn't get any figures on the thermal. We tried everything, and because they assumed it was connected to the woman, I asked if I could provoke, and that's the one and only time I did it. So I taunted it like, "I'm a woman and you like to play with little children and female who can't protect herself. Well, I'm here, and bring it on. Bring it on." And we got our first EVP, and it was stating, "You think you're something, you bitch." And it startled me very much. And when I went downstairs, I had a burning sensation on my back as well. And I had 3 scratches on my back. And after that, I had to go outside, let the exorcist do his job, and to make sure the area was proper exercised. We spent there the night, and it was quiet. No one got attacked, and I think he done his job because I asked that lady 2 more times and she didn't have any issues at her place at all. So that's one time I know something was attached to someone.
Yeah, you started telling the story about the incubus. We had the case with the succubus. I was like, no, we did have someone. It's been a long time ago, but we thought we were, I think it worked for 10 minutes and it's been like 6 hours or something when we were finished. Plus, the man came off the couch a meter high while we were busy doing the exorcism. Because my wife does exorcisms as well, just not like the church does. She does it her way, like in the Wiccan way. The things that happened there, that was scary as hell. That was my first one, so I didn't even know what was going to happen. I was like, okay, I'll go in blank. I'll go with you. Like Mary said, like doing the investigation, see if everything's okay. How is the house responding to me? But there is one thing that happens when something like that is attached to someone. My wife is under attack immediately, and not like by the being that's in there, but by the physical person. They get very aggressive around my wife. So I'm also the bodyguard. So I had to stand in between. That does work though. I think it's fun.
Well, it's good that you brought her up because I was thinking we need to find a way to include her. So I was going to actually ask you, what are some other ways that your wife helps with the investigations?
Yeah. She protects us completely from a distance as well. She can do that astral. She knows our energies, so as soon as we do an investigation, she makes sure we're safe. And as soon as she knows something's up or wrong, she will let us know. It's either via telephone or if she can't reach out to us because we have our phones on plane mode or off completely. She will try to make contact by using her energy to me. We are very close connected, and I will have the feeling something's wrong, and I have to check my phone. And as soon as I check my phone, I have a message from her. So that usually that's usually how she works. And if we do have a babysitter, we have 2 kids. She comes with us, but it depends on the babysitter.
Yeah.
What are some things that we can say or do to help people to feel more comfortable in talking about their experiences to kind of shift the attitude from paranormal to just normal?
I think the community needs to be more respectful. And even if people are experiencing things which you can debunk, it's their experience, their feelings, and you have to respect that. And afterwards, you can always explain, yeah, but it's this and it's that. And if you're afraid in the dark and you can't see things, it's your mind's playing trick on you. And I know you might think that there's a ghost in your house, but it's this, it's that. And every time you hear something, for you, it's a confirmation. But for me, it's obvious because it's the wood, it's the piping, whatever. Just be respectful and don't laugh at them.
No, don't make them feel they're crazy because they're not. Usually they're not. I have to say usually because you always have the crazy ones, but
yeah,
that's a thing for human beings. But no, just make them feel they're not crazy, that they are listened to, and make it normal, like it's a normal conversation you're having. That usually does work. Definitely.
What are some signs you look for when you're debunking a case?
everything.
Yeah. we always try to debunk everything.
My brain makes overtime.
Yeah, if it's something in houses, we check the houses. If it's something around people, we check the people. What are you doing? Do you have an alarm clock that's very old and that sets off a lot of EMF, which makes you go hallucinating? You name it, we'll look for it. So we try to do everything to debunk the paranormal.
Yeah,
Keeps us sharp.
Even that footage you got with the flickering lights, I hadn't seen it, and we went to the location and I saw it, and I thought, what the heck was that? And Shane was thinking I was looking at the flickering lights, but I saw something black coming very fast in the corner. And I did my best for 20 minutes to debunk it.
Yep. Believe it or not, she even jumped off a stairs to see if she could debunk the footage. It was funny as hell.
Yeah.
She couldn't debunk it in the end, so.
Yeah.
So what is one misconception about paranormal investigation that you'd like to clear up for the public?
Oh, it doesn't take 45 minutes. No. It doesn't take 45 minutes. It takes a lot of hours of work.
No, it's very simple. The things you see on TV are scripted, and they might put in some actual evidence, but it's the difference between the paranormal investigations, ghost hunting, and paratainment.
Yeah.
And if people get that, they know paranormal investigations are nothing like the TV.
Nope. Plus the fact, remember that if you do an investigation, an actual one, you usually sit in the dark, you're talking to the dark, ain't nobody listening, at least you think it isn't. You're talking to thin air. And if you see YouTube or television in this case, and you see bricks flying around, you see books falling off shelves, you see tables moving, you see closets moving, it's bull. Because something like that after another, it will never happen. Ever. It takes way too much energy.
Yeah.
That's what we call paratainment. It's funny as hell, but it's not real.
Fair enough. So tell me a little bit about Things Paranormal Talks.
Oh,
There you can start. It's hers. It's her baby.
It's my baby. Well, about 7+ years ago, I started doing podcasts, and with my former teammate, she was also called Samantha. And we were talking to people from all over the world, George Chaplin, Michel LeBaron, also Dutch investigators, psychics. And when we came to the topic, apps and Skinwalker Ranch, there was drama. People were going off on one another, and the group went bigger and bigger and bigger. And that was for me a point to say, I pull the plug. I don't want anything to do with drama. I was guest at some radio stations and some podcasts during those days, but I dove into the paranormal field, getting my team together. And that was also a struggle, because you have something in your head and people might fit in certain roles. Well, that didn't work out until I worked with Shane and Samantha. And we did here the Devil's Mountain. And I had so much fun. And after that, we went on an investigation here in the area. And we had so much fun and get caught by the police. And when we went to England 2 years ago, our friend who had a network, she said, I have some slots left and I think you're going to fill it up. And I hesitated very much because of the drama in the past. So I asked her, can I have a co-host? Can I do Dutch, German, English, whatever I want? And sadly, she didn't come back to me. And because we are part of Things Network and they have a like page in which they air podcasts, we had the opportunity to do it ourselves. But I had to do a test to see if I wouldn't stutter, if I wouldn't freeze, if I wouldn't get scared. I was very scared to mess up my languages, which I do and which I can on purpose, but I don't make a fuss of it anymore. And the energy between us, it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. And we changed the name
Yeah, we did.
to Things Paranormal Talks, and we had our followers choose the name.
Yep.
And that's how it started almost 2 years ago.
Yep. In August.
Yeah.
In August, we are 2 years already. Yeah, we started out doing a live because I wanted to do a live about my wife and I just heard a victim of a so-called medium that paid close to 400 euros for half an hour and didn't even get 10 minutes. And then the woman said, well, sorry, I can't read this because it's demonic and it's very black and I just can't put my energy in there. But the person that was paying for it already paid. So I was like, I have to do a live on TikTok about frauds in the paranormal and the mediumship. And Mary said, I would like to join if you don't mind. And I was like, of course, go ahead, be my guest. I mean, we talk normally about this. Why not do that live? So we did that, and that actually started our podcast. That was the plan came together. We were like, we're going to do this every week. We have to, and we're going to invite people that want to talk about paranormal. We want to show their story to us, let them talk the complete show almost. We do ask some questions, but it's their show. Just talk about what you do and what you want to talk about, because we have a lot of topics we want to talk about, and usually we do an hour and a half. And if we do the topics we want to talk about and we do their topics, then we will not be finished in 6 hours. So we have to cut it short to make them do their story, and we just let them talk. And it works. It works for us. We have 1 hour, 1.5 hours, usually, maybe even longer, that they just talk and we listen. Yeah. And a lot of interaction with the people that are listening and watching, of course. So they do, they ask the questions. The public asks the questions, and we just call them out for them.
Yeah, go with the flow.
Yep. Especially that one. Go with the flow.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. I have enjoyed this conversation. Tell everyone where they can find you.
We are on Facebook under Things Paranormal Talks is a page. You can find us on Things Paranormal. You can find us on The Ravens Paranormal, YouTube, TikTok. You can find us everywhere. And if you Google us, Things Paranormal Talks, you will find AI will find everything for you, because I just checked that.
Yeah.
I needed to know. I was very curious. I was like, are we already popular? Well, AI knows us, so it's good.
Yeah. So all the platforms for the podcast, you can find them. And there are some interesting talks on it.
Definitely are, yeah.
Yeah.
It's some big names. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on the Boundless Authenticity podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
It was an honor.
You're listening to the Boundless Authenticity Podcast, where we discuss everything related to the evolution of human consciousness.
At the very least, people need to understand that the United States builds bunkers, which are basically cities underground, every 3 months.
Basically, when you dream, you tap into your subconscious. It is your nocturnal intuition, your creativity and imagination unchained from conscious reason, ego and logic.
They're biologically alive, but they have no soul. They have AI consciousness. They can alter your conscious of the brain to get in the brain.
We live in a multidimensional reality, whether it comes through esoteric information in the spiritual realms or the UFO people, experiencers, or mainstream through quantum physics and through mainstream science now realizing that parallel dimensions probably exist.
We're all spiritual beings. We're all having these human experiences. We've heard that phrase over and over and over. But what does that really mean?
You know, all the big questions of life, we have these answers inside of our souls.
We're ultimately studying the nature of what it is to be human, good and evil, our psychology, how we think, and our health. That's why I love Bruce Lee's great quote, all knowledge is ultimately self-knowledge.
The Boundless Authenticity Podcast.